So in an effort to reconfigure the electrical system in the Jeep, I've ripped it all apart, and I didn't have these configured well as the exhaust fans on these RockPals units previously were pushed against or near this fabric wasn't here, but it just wasn't a lot of breathing room. So I've added this 24 volt fan that I had, and then this vacuum tubing. I'll cut it shorter and have a function where I can plug it into the window just so it has a good air line, and you can maybe hear that. But what's happening now, how I'm configuring this, is they're run in tandem. So I have the DC from the solar plugged into the old RockPals unit, and it also has on the front of it nothing turned on except for the one DC receptacle that has 12 volt 8 amps, and then the 24 volt. 24 volt gives it the extra fan, and then this one is actually run back and it goes into the DC charge port of the other RockPals unit. The other one is currently running 82 amps, and it's pulling it without any draw from the battery essentially because the solar hasn't had to even kick in to charge it. And the solar icon represents the DC input regardless if it's solar or not. And I'm just doing a test with the box fan right there and a little power strip that I keep in my Jeep to run all my peripherals. So the bypass solar that's coming through this one, which this battery has topped off, then goes straight to DC. It doesn't have to get converted or anything. And it loops back around to fill this one with that DC. And then this one will be the unit that I run all of my peripherals off. So as this unit is out of the sun, I'm also gonna put the AC input on this, which I'll wire in, and there's an outlet. It'll go here, like that. And then on the exterior of the vehicle, I have a little flap junction port for this, and then I have a 20-foot extension cable that plugs this into the wall. So I can plug the units in if I'm on a campsite or in my garage, which is what I do all the time. But what happens is, from a battery capacity standpoint, is if I remove the input of the solar or the AC, or just I'm in the shade or at nighttime, this is the unit that is being drawn down, and it will bypass 84 watts straight to the inverter, or a little bit more than that, I think. And then as it then no longer has an input, which is this battery, so this battery will be slowly completely depleted as this one draws it down. And then once this battery kicks off and it can no longer charge this unit, then this unit will use its battery. So then I get twice the capacity to run the AC peripherals. And it also uses this as a buffer because the one that's actually plugged into the DC solar is always running the fans because it's a higher input, whereas the DC from the vehicle plug does not always kick on the fans. So it keeps it a nicer, cooler charge, more regulated, I guess, and the MPPT charge controller doesn't have to do the work because it's partially regulated as it comes in. But yeah, that's the setup as of right now. I've also used an aluminum base plate here, which will help dissipate the heat because the bottoms of these packs get very hot. I'm gonna reconfigure all of my components up and in here. Once I've completed that and made it all look pretty, I'll show you again, but I kind of had to show you the dissected version of it because once this is all buttoned up, it's gonna be really hard to explain or show how that's done. Yeah, but that's two units run in tandem.